Solo, a Star Wars story, is the next in the line of Star Wars movies we are going into and doing a deep dive into. So we're going episode 1, 2, and 3, and now we're going for the 2 in between. So we got Solo, the Star Wars story, and Rogue One. So now we're focusing on Solo, the movie that had a lot of controversial stuff go with it. So we're going to talk about this movie. Now, let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of Solo, a Star Wars story? Did you love, did you hate it? Smash it down in that comment section. Smash that like button for me and click subscribe as well. And without further ado, let's get into this deep dive now of Solo, a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars story is the newest installment in this sort of Christmas festivity rewatch deep dive retrospective that we are going into. Now, Solo has had a lot of controversial stuff go behind the scenes when it came to this movie. So we do know about the infamous, basically, the whole movie was basically almost completely shot and they had to scrap the whole thing, bring in a new director who had to redo it all again because it wasn't the same movie that they agreed upon. You know, there was all this stuff going on about it. So it became the first Star Wars movie to lose money. The first ever Star Wars movie to lose money. That is a huge deal. No Star Wars movie has ever lost money until this one. And that is partly because they had to reshoot everything, which almost basically doubled the whole budget again. There was just so much stuff here. And then we just had Force Awakens as well. So we just saw Han Solo, Harrison Ford playing him as Han Solo in Force Awakens, and they killed him. So the timing of this movie was kind of out of nowhere, and I don't really remember anyone really asking for a Han Solo movie. I personally didn't really care for it. I mean, my whole issue was you just had Harrison Ford come back as Han Solo, so I don't want to see a Han Solo movie without Harrison Ford at this point in time. So, and it's like doing a series without, like doing a Luke series at the time the sequel trilogy was going without Mark Hamill. It didn't feel right, but like, I just feel like the timing didn't work for this film. I feel like if this film was released now, I reckon it would be viewed and accepted a lot more. And I think more people would be on board with it rather than at that time. So I just think bad timing really hurt this film because, one, no one wanted a Solo movie at that time. And two, they just reshot the whole thing. And it just absolutely, it was a disaster from the moment it was gonna come out. Like, it was just complete disaster. But look, I've rewatched it now, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. After rewatching this movie, I actually think this might be the most underrated Star Wars movie. I really do think this is underrated. I think this is actually a really good film. It's a really solid film. I feel like if you took Star Wars and Han Solo out of this movie and didn't call it Solo, a Star Wars story, and you just took that out, and you named it something else that didn't have anything to do with Star Wars, I reckon a lot of people would dig this film because this is a really good space adventure film. It really is. I'm not lying here. I actually think this is a fantastic space adventure movie. Like, I love a lot of things that happen in this film. Like, from the opening sequence with the speeder chase. Like, I loved that. The way that they were able to make that speeder move like that. It just was thrilling and entertaining. And I felt like, look, I get it. We all wanted we like Harrison Ford as Han Solo. But I think Aldrin actually did quite a good job. I really dug him as Han Solo in this. Now, upon, like, times gone past and now we get to rewatch it, I feel like he actually does a really good job. And I feel like he does capture what Han Solo is about. And every time I'm watching him on screen, I get that vibe that I'm watching a young Han Solo. I like the arrogance that he brought. I like the cockiness. I like this always sure of himself no matter what. Always lying, trying to talk his way out of trouble, which is what we know Han Solo for. You know, basically being this scummy person that does always talking out of the way. Like, I'm going to tell you a lie to try and get out of this and build upon that lie. I really liked him. I thought he did a fantastic job. It was nice to see him and Chewie. Their relationship in this film is just so great. I love when they're on screen. And to get that origin story of how Han actually meets Chewbacca, actually works really well. And it gives you more depth when you're watching the original trilogy and that to their relationship and why Chewbacca really cares for Han. And you see that in this movie. Like, they go through a lot together, and I like that aspect of it. I really did. I thought Woody Harrelson is absolutely fantastic as Tobias Beckett. I love that character and his whole dynamic with Han. He's basically like Han's mentor, teaching him the ways of being a smuggler, being a thief, like teaching him all the things you need to go. That line that he says, you need to learn to not trust anyone. It's the only way to live. Believe everyone is gonna always turn their back on you. Like they're always gonna deceive you no matter what and betray you. And I like that line, and I like the message he's trying to instill on Han Solo, and it really resonates when you see the Han Solo that we know. Like, you can see that this movie does fit into the whole lineage of the Star Wars films, and it does give an add to the Han Solo character and makes us understand why he's a bit like he is in A New Hope. Like, why is he like that? Because of this movie. Like, you see what he has to go through. I thought Donald Glover was fantastic as well as Lando. He really encapsulated what Lando is, and I felt like I was watching young Lando. So I think all the people that they cast for these younger versions of these characters worked so well in this movie. I got to give them props. Like, yes, we wanted Harrison Ford. We know that. Yes, we wanted Carl Weathers and that. Yes, we know we want them. But I think you got to give it to these two. These two really dug in and did a fantastic job. I thought Emilia Clarke was good in here as well. Her as the love interest of Han Solo. Now it gives us a bit more depth to Han Solo and why he is like he is when it comes to relationships. Why he doesn't want to fully commit to someone else. Why he runs away and stuff like that. Because of the past. And now it makes a bit more sense to, in Force Awakens, why he actually leaves. Because of a movie like this, where we understand the backstory to Han Solo and why he's like he is and why he chooses to run away, because it's the only thing he knows. And I like that concept, and I like Emilia Clarke was fantastic as Kira. She's really good, and she obviously, when they're separated, gains her own motive and lives her own life and does stuff that she's not proud of with Crimson Dawn, which we meet. Mate, Paul Bettany, man. Paul Bettany is just absolutely fantastic in this film. He's a fantastic actor, and to get him to come in and play Dryden Voss was absolutely fantastic. And I mean, that makeup design of like the scars and stuff on his face, whatever that is, it's just absolutely incredible. And he really brings that presence when he's on screen as the villain of like the whole thing. I really liked it. He was just outstanding. And every time he was on screen with Kira and Han and Tobias, you really felt it. So I enjoy all the characters here, and it's really good. It's really fun. It's entertaining. There are some great sequences in here, like the Kessel Run. I really like that. There's the great shootout during the Kessel Run as well, where they're sitting down and they're on the actual planet Kessel and they're shooting all the other thing. The robot has started the revolution, the rebellion sort of thing there, where they're rebelling and all that stuff. I really enjoyed that as well. I thought that was fantastic. So you have all that, and that one shot of the Star Destroyer in the actual blockade right there where they're coming in to do the Kessel Run was absolutely, like, that is just a shot and a half. Fantastic. Then you obviously have that creature in space there as well that creates electricity and stuff like that. It's like a big giant like octopus looking thing. That whole sequence was fantastic as well. I love that, the vibrant color of that wormhole there, the big black hole with like the reds and that. It was just absolutely fantastic. The whole sequence at the start there where they're coming onto the train, that I loved as well. And that is an emotional hit because we meet these two new characters, and we see Tobias has a relationship with the one girl, and they're obviously a close-knit crew, and then two of them die straight away. So they straight away established to you, like, this story, people are going to die. And we obviously know Han and Chewbacca don't die because they're in the original trilogy, but every other character is not safe. So they set the tone straight away right there, where you're kind of like, okay, I don't know which new characters are now safe, and that's awesome. That's really, really cool. So, and that whole sequence was fantastic. Like, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Then obviously you have the twist end there where Han, Tobias and that, they're all double crossing each other and they've all got plans and everything like that. I like that. That to me worked really well and I enjoyed it. And look, that last card game where he wins the Millennium Falcon, I mean, It's absolutely fantastic as well. The Millennium Falcon was just it's just iconic, isn't it? It's iconic, and then the way he wins it is just fantastic as well. And I think there's a lot of things to love in Solo: A Star Wars Story. I think there is a lot of things in here that I think some people will overlook. Yes, it's something that I don't think worked at the time, but as time has progressed, I feel like this is actually really underrated. And after watching it, I actually had a lot more fun than I realized I would watching this. I mean, there's got some great comedic timing as well, and some great comedic relief that I really enjoyed as well. It's not overbearing though, that's the good thing. But as an actual space adventure, as a sci-fi movie, this is actually a really good sci-fi movie. Like I just feel like if you took the Solo and a Star Wars out of it, I really think a lot more people would actually really enjoy this. But because it's Han Solo and it's a Star Wars movie, I feel like that's what gives it that sort of like negative vibe. So, but overall, I enjoy it now. My opinion on it has changed. I actually enjoy this a lot more than I thought I would and that I previously did. So let me know your thoughts down below. Smash them down there. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.